Hey everyone, this is Stuart, Victor Echo 9, Charlie Foxtrot, and welcome back to our channel. So we got another interesting email last night from a longtime subscriber and very appreciative of our little POTA playlist we got going on here. Asked me a question about working DX. He said, Stuart, you always seem to get all kinds of DX. You know, you're working stations in Russia, all across Europe, into Africa, and sometimes even Asia. How do you do it? I wish it was a simple answer. So one of the biggest mistakes, I'll call it a mistake, maybe it's not really a mistake, but I'll call it a mistake for the sake of this video, that a lot of US hams make in trying to work, like say DX on WWF, for example. Well, they go out late in the day. So they're going out later in the day when a lot of the European stations are off the air. Worldwide Flora and Fauna, for example, and POTA outside of North America, the Europeans, that's why I go first thing in the morning, because that's when they're the most active. And also on 40 meters, a lot of American stations operate above 7,200 where Europeans can't go. Now, IARU Region 2 can work over 7,200, but IARU Region 1, I think it is, can't. So understanding the band plans, very, very important. That's a huge challenge I see with a lot of North Americans. And the same can be said about Europeans as well, right? So Europeans working POTA and different things. I see a lot of British bunker guys on 40 meters during the day. I can't work you on 40 meters during the day. So understanding what bands are open and when is very, very crucial. And understanding HF propagation, how it works. For example, 40 meters during the day, primarily a local thing. If you want to work Bob in New Jersey or Gus in Georgia or Fred in Florida and you're in those places, well, 40 meters is the place to be. You're not going to get DX on 40 meters during the day, unless you're a particular guy from Minnesota who still works Poland in the middle of the day on 40 meters, which leaves my head scratching my head a little bit. Anyway, but understanding how HF propagation works and what time of day is crucial. For example, 10 meters in the winter, you can work a lot of South Americans on 10 meters because there's still daylight down there while it's nighttime up here. And there's a lot of 10 meter signals that make the way up here because of the way the ionosphere works. I'm not going to get into that today, how that all works. But I can go to a park here around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at night and work a ton of South American DX on 10 meters. So understanding HF propagation, and that's how you're going to do it. If you're into DXing and doing portable and POTA and all these other programs, you got to understand how HF propagation works and what bands are open and when. And then just hope sometimes they can make it work, and understanding how clusters work. For example, today I saw a guy at Yankee Bravo 0 getting spotted from Europe, and I just happened to hear him on 12 meters, so I was able to work him. The only guy from North America. And then, of course, my friend Steve, V1SK, got on there after I did and worked him right after I did. So understanding how HF propagation works is crucial to having a successful DX parks on the air outing. That's how I do it. Timing, understanding how it all works, and sometimes just being lucky and watching the clusters. Get off the POTA spot page and look at the DX clusters. That'll tell you a lot too. I'm Stuart, Victor Echo 9, Charlie Foxtrot. Hope these work for you. 7-3.